when I saw this story coming out of Philadelphia was, oh boy, oh boy, the restraint that Black women are required to show in order to survive. Is survive hyperbole, sister girls? is is saying that Black women have to show restraint, is that hyperbole? Because I don't really think it is. I don't really think it is, because the moment that you begin acting out, whomever your provocateur was ratchets up the shit as well, and they become more aggressive. And that is exactly what happened to a sister named Jillian out of Philadelphia. She was visiting the doctor at the Philadelphia Pregnancy Center, which is located in Norristown, Pennsylvania. She was there to get a note from the doctor because she was experiencing some complications, get a note for work. And Jillian has children. She already has previous children. And I think she says in her videos that she's expecting her fourth child. And the treatment she received from a nurse practitioner who began questioning her family planning choices and implying overtly, subtly, and otherwise that Jillian was trying to get a doctor's note for work because she wanted some sort of free ride. So I want you guys to pay attention, because this is actually going to be roughly 6-ish minutes of Jillian telling her story directly through a series of TikTok videos. The first video we're going to see is the actual encounter inside of the pregnancy center with the nurse. And this story, again, happened back in October, and it totally flew under my radar. So again, I'm appreciative to you all who do tag me on stories, even if I don't reply, because I'm not good at that shit. Like, I do see the shit and I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. So I want us to hear directly from Jillian. So this is what we're going to see. The first video is the video of the actual encounter that Jillian filmed herself. The subsequent videos are going to be Jillian giving a first person accounting of what she calls the full story. And the final video is a video she recorded after the story had blown up virally, and the pregnancy center was trying to blame her for the negative attention that they are receiving. I imagine they are still receiving it, but let's take a look at this. This is 6 minutes. And guys, trust me, I would not subject anybody to videos of this duration if they were not wholly compelling. So trigger warning. This is healthcare racism. Woo! This is white women at a very high level. Everybody needs a trigger warning for that. Holy shit. And just the having to see a Black woman deep in her pregnancy having to be subjected to racism, and just listening to the way that has clearly affected her and stressed her out. Let's take a look.
What were you thinking about when you got pregnant, that you were not going to work? I'm just curious, because I've had 3 kids. I worked up until the second they were born.
But am I you? Are you me? Do you know how I feel? Do you know how my body feels?
No, that's why I'm asking. I'm interested to know what you think. I want to know your mindset. So when you got pregnant, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking about having a kid. I'm confused on where you're going at.
I'm confused too, because you came in here and I did an assessment and I gave you my best medical advice. And you didn't like that.
But I said that I just wanted a note so I could take it easy these next 2 months.
And
I'm 7 months pregnant and I'm in pain.
It's
not fraud. If it was fraud, the doctor wouldn't be getting me my note right now.
Really?
Yes.
What I read on your chart isn't true.
Okay.
So I
What's
know
on my
it's
chart
fraud.
that's not true?
I read on your chart what isn't true, because I'm the person who saw you and did the exam.
Okay.
So it's okay.
But but how do you know how I feel? How do you know how my body feels inside?
Because I stuck my hand in there and checked your cervix.
Okay, you checked my cervix, but how you know how my bones feel? How you know how my body feels, my legs, my back? How do you know how that feels? How you know how my nausea feels? How you know how my cramps feel? by touching. And you're okay. All right. So this is the nurse practitioner, and look how she's hitting me. Look at it. Check her out. Check it out. Call the police, and they're going to see how you just what you just did. Call the police. She already called the police on me once because I called her a weirdo. Yes. Look at you. This lady is fucking crazy. Call the cops again. Call them.
It's okay.
Call them. I got you on video hitting me with that thing in your hand.
This?
This is the Philly Pregnancy Center, guys.
Yeah, okay, Jillian.
She didn't want to give me a...
Yep. So that was the first one. Are we going to see the other two?
So I decided to post a little update. So basically, long story short, I needed a doctor's note. I needed to take off work. I'm in a lot of pain. I begged them to take me in. For a week, I called, asked for an appointment. They finally told me to come in. I came in. The woman that you see in the video, all she did was, when I tried to explain my pain and exactly what I was feeling, she cut me off, said, let me examine you. I want to feel your cervix. So when I got up on the table for her to examine me, she was very aggressive. She shoved her fingers in me. It was painful. So after that, she just started telling me, oh yeah, I can't give you a no, and you can work. The most I could do is say you can't lift 25 pounds or more. So I started, arguing my case, like, no, I really need my note. Let me just speak to the doctor. I would like to speak to the doctor. So she goes, I'm not going to argue with you. Long story short, we get back to the front desk. She's blurting out all my information in the lobby. There's a patient in there. She hears everything. All my information is out there. The girl at the front desk gets the doctor on the phone. The doctor wants me to go in the back office and talk to her on the phone and explain what's happening. As we're walking back there, she goes, please don't take her to my office. So I said, nobody wants to go to your office. You're a weirdo for that. She comes back there, says, I called the police. So why would you call the police? She said, because you called me out my name. I said, because I called you a weirdo. She said, yeah. I said, okay, well, when the cops get here, I'm going to tell them you're a weirdo because you're a weirdo. There's no reason to call the cops because you got called a name for something that you're acting like, because the way you're acting is really weird. So part 2 to the full story. So after I got off the phone with the doctor, when I was in the back room, after she came back there, said she was calling the cops, I told her to call them, so on and so forth. After I calmed down, because I had a panic attack back there. I'm like crying because I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is not what I thought I was coming here for. Like, why am I going through so much? Like, so, and I'm pregnant, and I already have high blood pressure. Like, my blood pressure was already high when they checked it for that appointment. So I come out the back office, it's cops in there. So I'm like, oh my goodness, she really called the cops. So the cops are like kind of being aggressive to me, but not like super aggressive. That's why like I didn't get that on recording, because I really was not trying to do anything for attention. Like, I wasn't out to record nobody. Like, my first thought wasn't to record anything. What made me start recording was, after everything was said and done, I spoke to the police, and she told the police the reason she called them is because she felt threatened. And I told the cop, I said, look at me, like, I'm going on 8 months pregnant. I'm 7 months pregnant. I'm pretty far along. Do I look like I'm in a position to be attacking somebody? Like, I don't understand what her problem is. And they was like, yeah, she said she felt like you just came in here just to get a note, to get a free ride, or some crazy stuff like that. After everything was all said and done, the doctor said that I was going to get my note. Everything was going to be fine. Sit in the office and wait as the woman at the front desk gets it all ready. You know, they had to do something, sign and stuff. And so long story short, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. So the woman from the video, the Karen, she walks up to me. I'm sitting there. I'm trying not to look at her. I'm just on my phone, just scrolling through Instagram, trying to like distract myself. So I'm looking at my phone. I already have my phone in my hand. She stands in front of me and she asks me the question, what were you thinking when you got pregnant? And I want to have a conversation with you, since we no longer have a patient-doctor relationship. She just was talking and talking and talking. So I finally just said, listen, I don't care what you got to say. Please get out my face. Go about your day. So she goes, Jillian, you're a piece of shit. What were you thinking when you opened your legs and got pregnant? So part 2. So this is one of the comments that they're leaving, and apparently
they're emailing this same statement, which is just very upsetting because she's like, they're placing all the blame on me, justifying this woman assaulting me. It's just so many things wrong with this statement. And even the woman who witnessed the whole thing, that was also there, that I'm not going to really say too much about her because of privacy reasons, but she witnessed it. She reached out to me and she's agreeing with me that, this whole thing was terrible about the cops and everything. Like, she was amazed that this woman could really sit up here and call the cops on me all because she got called a weirdo. When in fact, with the way she was acting was crazy. It was weird. But anyway, here's the comments. I'm sure most of you saw it, but yes, they're placing all the blame on me. And even last night when I spoke with the doctor, she did the same thing. She's mad because of all of the social media attention. She even said to me on the phone, "Your people are calling, harassing my people, making them cry, making them go home from work, and I should have had the decency to say good things about the doctor and everybody else in the office." And it's just a lot. And I'm just really upset right now just seeing that everything was placed on me. And you could clearly see that the nurse practitioner was wrong. In addition to that, she has not been fired. She has only been suspended. She specifically said that she was suspended. I asked, well, what's the difference between suspended and fired? Is that the same thing for you? Because it's not the same thing for me. Because suspended means she still has a job, but she refused to comment on that statement. Or that question, she just didn't answer that. She just bypassed it and continued to place the blame on me the whole phone call.
Can you even imagine? Well, I know some of you do not have to imagine. Black mothers, every single one that I know, has at minimum a story about what they felt was insufficient care either during their pregnancy or potentially during delivery, or just in the medical settings generally, right? Or in the post, what do they call it after you have a baby? In the post birth section of the hospital. You can tell I do not know these things. Um but for sis to encounter somebody who is directly in charge of her care, my heart just broke for her, for Jillian, the mother there, when she said that the nurse Karen, whose actual name I believe is Teresa Smigo, when she checked her and she said how aggressive she was with her. Like, aggressive in her lady parts where her baby is gestating. You understand? Like what? Anyway, not been pregnant whilst not pregnant, but I said this once on the Remix Morning Show. I was getting a pap smear at Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, at some of the doctor's office there, the gynecologist office there, and I have speculum in vagina. They got it cranked open. They didn't hit the tire crank. They done cranked it open, right? So I got speculum in vagina, and some fucking dumb bitch from the fucking front desk comes in to ask me about my insurance information. Feet in stirrups, speculum in vagina. And someone's going to actually come in there and ask me about my insurance information. Nigga, when I tell you. Well, what can I do? I didn't even lunch out. I didn't. The person swabbing my cervix was like, can you get that later? And then the woman left, but incensed. So I'm putting myself in this woman's shoes. I'm pregnant, 7 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant. I'm there to get a doctor's note because my body hurts. Why are you questioning my family planning choices? What the fuck is it to you? How many children I have? Why are you concerned about what was on my mind when I opened my legs? You don't know the circumstances surrounding this fucking pregnancy. Why is this fucking bitch overstepping? and causing malpractice and using her white privilege and her white womanness to engage the police in a situation. Oh, so what? Now this is a criminal matter because this woman, this patient had the audacity to call you a weirdo. Bitch, you are a fucking weirdo. Anybody that will call the police over being called a weirdo is a fucking weirdo. That's not even available to be contested, right? But it just goes to show you the other part to this that, again, I would imagine, let me not speak for all black people, but let me speak for my fucking self. I have absolutely had white people call the police on me for absolutely fucking nothing. For nothing. Because I was a Negro not following direction from the nearest white. Are you fucking serious? Like, get the fuck out of here. So incensed for that sister. Well, for those of y'all who, like me, was not aware of this story prior to this week, this story actually, it did blow up. It was covered by Yahoo News. It was covered locally in Philadelphia. It sounds as though the Philadelphia Pregnancy Center has had a difficult time about it. And imagine the audacity of a doctor, and the sister Jillian, the mother there, the expected mother, did not say what the race of the doctor was, but fuck that doctor for trying to put it on her that people were calling the pregnancy center and that her staff was crying and having to go home. Now, we all know who was crying, and had to go home. Because I imagine any sister would have been like, girl, now you know. Now, who was this? Raheem? You know. It was not me. It was not me. It was not Alia. It was not I. I'm using the Muslim names because there's so many black Muslims up in Philadelphia. But you understand what I'm saying. Come on. I know who was crying, who was going home. So that also gives me an indication of the race of the doctor. That the race of the doctor would to me, a white doctor would absolutely try to guilt this deeply pregnant, heavily pregnant black mother into feeling bad, the ergo causing her more stress, thereby probably exacerbating the symptoms that she was there to get a doctor's note in the first fucking place for. Like, I hate it here so goddamn bad. And then just seeing that, you can't wonder why black women die at 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the rate of white women in America during pregnancy, during childbirth, and in the months and a year up to after their children are delivered. Because of this shit. Because white people don't believe that we experience pain. White people do not believe that we experience pain. Again, I can't believe I'm checking off so many boxes in this woman's situation. Several years ago, my mother, out of the blue, experienced pain so great she wanted to go to the hospital. Long story short, she gets a room, and I see the staff just walking around. It was not busy that day at the hospital located in Howard County. It was not busy that day, and they just dilly-dallying. So I stick my head at the curtain. I said, y'all just walking around in here. My mother's in here doubled over in pain. I bet you if she was a white woman, she would have had her pain medication already. I've told this story before. And then this indignant white administrator, this white woman administrator comes out and starts talking to me about how this ain't racist. This is not a racist institute. Lady, please. This is Howard County. We don't, woman, cease your nonsense because I know better. So I know that pain medication, believability about symptoms, etc. Black people face this in every single aspect of the medical field. And what really breaks my heart is that as a result, this poor child, this unborn baby, is experiencing the racism that their mother is feeling and the emotions that come along with that racism. Sis already said she had high blood pressure. Gang, for the non-whites, and maybe even for the whites who might perhaps have a similar but not exact reaction when they observe racism or when they know about racism. But black people and non-white folks, woo, You can feel the response to racism in your body. I actually feel my heart beating stronger, harder. My breathing changes. I feel my blood pressure changing. I'm starting to sweat because it's almost like a fight or flight kind of thing. I want to lunch out in this very moment when I'm experiencing this racism. Is it safe for me to do so? Am I in a space where if I have an emotional reaction to the obvious bullshit that I'm getting from somebody fucking white or maybe somebody non-black, because we know non-blacks are also very good at the anti-blackness and the racisms, but it's usually the whites that get me feeling a certain way when they start feeling spicy. You know what I'm talking about. And so that baby was experiencing every emotion that his mother or her mother or their mother was experiencing in that moment. And that just absolutely breaks my heart. Will, can you put up Jillian's info? So, Jillian, obviously, even though she didn't get a lot of new followers on the social media, she did put up her information. So, if anyone wants to support her, pardon me, you can do so. I should have took a picture of the shit because I can't fucking read it. Will, open up your mic. What's her Cash App say? Turn down that SWV you got blasted in the background. Let me tell you something. When I'm talking to Will's where he's at.
Chill on me.
Strong nigga energy. It's just noise behind him at all times. Go ahead and read off Sissy's chat Cash App.
Okay, it's Jillian 9572. So Jillian Jillian 9572.
With the $sign in front. That's her Cash
Yes,
App.
$sign.
Help Jillian out, y'all. We probably will run Jillian a couple bucks ourselves because my God, I just feel such a way for her. Hold on. I am seeing you guys support for the program. Thank you so much. Who is that? Does that say Spiffy? Spiffy, come through, Spiffy. Thank you so much. Also, Crip Hop Nation. What's up, Leroy? And thank you so much, Schultzy. What's up, Schultzy? Thank you guys so much for your super chat support here on tonight's show. So, and again, thank you for the Fire Fam member, the Burn It Down with Kim Brown viewer who tagged me on that story. It's a very important story and just reminiscent again of the very casual, and not to say that brothers don't experience the racism, I'm sure, but I mean in the medical scenario, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the scenario in which black men might experience the sort of fatal racism within the medical field or medical realm that pregnant black women and women, who are in labor, whatever. I don't know. They check y'all good for prostate cancer when y'all go, or colon cancer. Anyway, if you do find the ways, not to say that there aren't ways, I'm not currently apprised of them at the moment. I would love to hear the ways in which, when going to seek treatment, brothers don't get tended to in the same way. And it's clearly racism, even though I definitely already know and can safely assume that does happen in all forms. But anyway, I'm very grateful that you guys are here with me tonight. So let us get into the next story. Please give us a like, a thumbs up,